It's getting out of hand. More than 40,000 confirmed cases, more than 900 deaths. China is struggling to contain the coronavirus outbreak. We have been saying this for a while now, and we'll say this again. China is failing in its fight against the Wuhan virus. With each passing day, the number of cases is growing. The situation is getting worse. So tonight on Gravitas, we've made a list of 5 indicators, 5 examples, if you will, that show how Beijing is losing this battle. First of all, China's doctors are not up to this task, not by a long shot. Most of them, the doctors, are untrained medical professionals. I'm not saying this, it's the World Health Organization that has said this. The WHO says half of China's doctors do not have graduate degrees. And these are the people who are at the front lines. These are the people fighting China's deadliest epidemic without even being graduates. It's worse in small villages and towns. The number of graduate doctors falls to 10 to 15%. There's a crippling shortage of general practitioners in China. According to one study, there were only 189,000 GPs in China in 2015. It may seem like a big number. In China, it's not. That means one doctor for 7,200 people. This virus is exposing all such gaps. Reports say one specialist is forced to see as many as 200 patients every day. Doctors are working non-stop. Multiple reports say they do not even have time to go to the washroom. They're wearing adult diapers and working. That's how bad the situation is. Most of them have not gone home for days. Some of them have been threatened physically by panicking patients. China has built 2 new hospitals to manage the crisis. More than 6,000 medical personnel were mobilized by Beijing to Wuhan. Even military doctors were deployed, but it hasn't been enough. And that brings us to point number 2, the sheer chaos. China's response has been haphazard. Chinese authorities have triggered more panic with their actions. Take a look at these pictures on your screen. This was reportedly shot in Wuhan inside a residential school. It's a hostel. The students were sent back home. Their belongings were just thrown out of their rooms. Why? Because they need rooms to house more patients. Well, this kind of action makes no sense, but China has mastered the art of crackdown and it's doing what it knows best. So the military is positioned at different checkpoints. It's been more than 2 weeks since Wuhan was put under lockdown. Now 27 cities with more than 140 million people have been quarantined. Soldiers have been deployed. They are using thermal scanners to conduct random checks. Suspected patients are being rounded up.
给你看看，我这测体温呢。你这装备挺酷啊！
哎，36.5，
自己买的？
对。
These are unverified pictures floating on the Chinese internet, but the chaos is quite apparent. The extent of this outbreak has overwhelmed the Chinese state. They're playing catch-up. They're going after whatever they can get their hands on. Stadiums and schools are being turned into hospitals. The military has been pressed into service. Point number 3, why we say that this is a chaotic response. There is a shortage of medical supplies, an acute shortage. The shutdown has only made the situation worse. Stuff like gloves and masks, which is the best protection against this disease, is out of stock. Factories, remember, were shut down after the outbreak. Workers are yet to return to work. China, which is the country that supplies goods to the entire world, is unable to make enough for itself. In Wuhan, which is the worst affected city, doctors are running short of testing kits. Officials there do not know when the situation will improve.
也可能没有完全统计出来啊。
The shortage may not be fully known yet because some cities might have received donations and some might have purchased some of their own supplies. But the shortage is still there, and it's likely that this could change in the future. If the outbreak has reached its peak, the situation will become better. But if we still see growth in the newly reported cases, the shortage will continue and might even increase.
It's no secret that China tried to hide the outbreak first. Now it could be misreporting the number of deaths. One report says that deaths from coronavirus are being registered under different heads. And this is being done to bring down the official or registered number of coronavirus deaths. And the number of people who died because of the virus might actually be much more. Such a claim has not been made for the first time. In fact, 6 days back, an official from the World Health Organization claimed that China was quote-unquote too slow to report coronavirus cases. The statement came from a man called John McKenzie. He's a member of the WHO's Emergency Committee, and he apparently broke ranks and termed China's response, and I'm quoting again, China's response, reprehensible. This assessment is in sharp contrast to what the head of the WHO has said. He has praised Beijing's response to this crisis. And finally, point number 5 on China, on why China is floundering. The people of China do not trust their government. Let me show you 2 sets of pictures to make this point. The first set is from Beijing. On your left is how Beijing looked before the outbreak. It was a city bustling with people. On your right is how it looks today, like a ghost town, deserted. People were supposed to return to work today. Most of them haven't. Beijing's subway system reported a drop of 50% in passenger flow. Those who were without a mask were asked to go back. And now let me show you Shanghai. It's the same story. This is how China's global financial hub now looks. On the left is Shanghai before the outbreak of the virus. On the right is what Shanghai looks like now. It's a city at a standstill. It was put under a quarantine. The mayor believes that 5 million people have left the city of Shanghai since.